And so we're gonna talk about the comp plan and we're gonna talk about placement, okay? So I like, when I started doing this and I was like, all right, I'm gonna try this leadership role, I kept on looking at this sheet and I was like, what does this all mean, right? And so I want to kind of share with you guys what I found that was pretty interesting, and I wish I knew earlier, and that's why I want you guys to benefit from it. Okay. So you guys are all at team leaders or above. Okay. So that's this right here. So you're already 3 in, right? Once you become a team leader, you get that magical placement button. Okay. So, and it is very, very magical. Okay. Don't take it lightly. So this is how I want to, let me structure this like a little differently, okay? Because I want to talk about the placement button as well. But when I was looking at this, what I realized was I wanted to get to that executive phase as fast as possible, because I saw $500 car lifestyle bonus and I was like, I want that. So how do I get there? Because I was just thinking to myself, if I can get 500 bucks a month, but yet that just for being an executive director, and that didn't include my sales or leadership or anything, that's pretty cool, right? So I started looking at what does it take to become an executive director? And what I realized was that it says that you need 6 qualified legs, right? So that's your level 1. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So I was like, oh my God, 6 qualified legs. How the heck am I going to do that? But what I found was that I only really needed 3 legs. I'm calling them legs. I only really needed 3 legs that were working the business. Because if I had 3 legs that were working the business, 1, 2, 3, my 4, 5, and 6 just needed to be 1 person that was bonus qualified. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So, and that's where the placement button comes in, right? Because once you get that placement button, if you find 3 people in your downline on your legs that really want to work the business, those are the people that you can start placing people under, right? And yet you're moving up the ranks. So let's start from number 1, right? I have this little board here, and if you guys get confused, please go in and get those rank charts. Those are magical because it's a great visual. And I know you can see it on your computer, but there's nothing like writing it down to see where your holes are. So if you're a team leader, you should be taking that director rank sheet and writing everybody's name down. So that way you can figure out the holes. All right. And if you're a director, do the senior director. And if you're a senior director, do the executive. Okay. Because that's where you'll know where the holes are in your business to get to that next rank. All right. Because it'll have like the circle under it. So here I've got this little whiteboard. All right. So this is you. Okay. So you're at the top, right? Up here. And I'm just going to keep on checking to make sure more people aren't coming in. So you're up here, right? The first thing that you want to become is a senior stylist, right? So I'm going to do this 1 in 1, right? So if this is you up here and you enrolled 2 people, right? You're going to notice that when you're in the leadership phase, there's level, it says 6 and 7 on this chart. It's going to say 6 and 7, right? So number 6 says enroller bonus, okay? And it has 2 things underneath the enroller bonus, and it says E1 and E2. E1 is your personally enrolled person. So you're a senior stylist and you enrolled those people, right? So that person's gonna be your E1. Now, if you enrolled them and you're a senior stylist, they're also gonna be your level 1, right? That's the number 7 that's on your list. So a lot of people get that like confused. They're like, what is this E1 and this, like, isn't your E1 and your level 1 the same thing? It could be, but it might not be, right? Because now that you guys know, when you're a team leader, you get that placement button. So if I enrolled Diane and I said, okay, Diane is my E1, right? When she comes onto my team, she's on my level 1 and she's my E1. But because I have that placement button, I can take Diane and say, Diane, you know what? I'm going to place you underneath Kristen. So Kristen might be my level 1, but I'm placing Diane underneath Kristen. So now Diane becomes my level 2, right? So she's my E1. She will be forever my E1 because I personally enrolled her. So it doesn't matter where she ends up on that graphical tree, she'll always be my E1 and I will always get 3% of her sales. But it depends on what level I placed her and what rank I am to know what level I'm going to get paid off of. So say if, here, I'm going to I'll write the names down so that you guys, so like it's, oh, I need a wet rag, damn it. All right, I'm gonna write my name down so that you guys can see it because it's really kind of important because guys, it's money, all right? And you wanna get paid the most, all right? So Diane, I said, was my level 1, my E1, right? So she's my E1 and say Kristen is over here. Let me do it as if I'm a team leader, okay? Lauren is here. And then Kristen. Sorry, guys. Give me another name. Okay. I'm gonna write this down. Okay. Let's look at this right here, okay? So here I am. Here's me, right? Diane is my E1, Kristen's my E1, and Lauren's my E1. They're all my level 1s. Level 1, level 2, okay? So, all right, you're a team leader, okay? Here I am. Diane, Kristen, and Lauren are all my E1s. They're all my level 1s, right? So if I'm a team leader, I'm gonna get paid 3% off of my E1s and I'm gonna get paid 3% off of my level 1s. So I'm getting paid 6% off of my level 1 and my E1, okay? Because they're my personally enrolled person, that's the E1, right? Well, guess what? We can get paid off of our E2s as well. So guess who my E2 is? So Kristen's my E1, she enrolled Jen and Trisha. So those are my E2s, right? And they're my level 2s, okay? So I'm gonna get paid 3%, and this only happens when you're a team leader, guys, okay? So if you look at the comp plan and you look at number 6, it says for a team leader, you get paid 3% off of your E1s and your E2s. If you look at the senior stylist, it says you get paid 3% off of your E1s. You do not get paid off of your E2s, but you get paid off of your level 2s. So what does that mean? That means that I'll get paid 3% off of these guys instead of 6%. So you just took half of that away because you didn't keep your rank of team leader. Does that make sense? Right? So why is it important to keep team leader? Because these people are here and they're making money and you should be too, right? So it's like, you know what, that's the importance of it. And the most important thing about team leader is the placement button. Because how about if I'm a team leader, right? And I'm, you know, Lauren, I don't know, no, say Jen decides not to work it this month, right? But guess what? I just enrolled somebody this month and she's killing it. I can take that girl and I can place her underneath Kristen so that I can keep my rank, right? So there's some months where you're like, I need to keep my rank, and I have this girl over here that's starting to work the business. Well, I'm going to work with this girl. I'm going to do a launch party with her. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get her to most qualified, because this girl, she's not going to do it this month. Something's going on. Listen, shit happens, right? But if I have that recruit over there, I can take her and I can put her over here. Okay? So you want to capitalize on as much as you possibly can, right? Because if you have, you know, say if you're a team leader, now this might be jumping the gun, right? And Diane's like, yeah, I'm like all the way down here. Like I'm recruiting in this spot. This girl right here, she's recruiting like a boss, right? She's got multiple people, right? And you're up here saying, okay, I'm a team leader, so I'm going to get paid until my level 3. So this is a level 2, and this is a level 3. But my level 4, 5, and beyond, because these girls down here just decided to like start recruiting like bosses, you don't get paid off of that. So all that volume that's happening, you don't get paid on, right? So you always kind of want to keep on recruiting and keep on building the team, okay? It's kind of like the importance of it. All right, now let me take a little step back. So that's kind of why like you really want to like, if you're gonna pick the leadership phase, you don't want to stop recruiting, okay? Because you don't want that person, listen, you do want it because you want that person to go kill it, but it would be nice if they were killing it and you were getting paid for it, right? All right, so my brain just went to kaput. What was I gonna say? Okay, here, this is what I was gonna say. So let's go back just a little bit and let's talk about how, you know, it's really only 3 legs that need to be built, right? But we also have the 50% rule. So what is the 50% rule? Well, this is a mess. Take, for instance, what I just showed you, right? You have, you're a team leader, so you have 3 people across, and you have 1 person who's like killing it, right? On 1 leg. You can only take 50% of that big leg is going to go towards your volume. And you'll see that we have capped volume and then like your total volume, right? Your capped volume and your total volume, you really, really want to keep even. Because once you get uneven, that's where you kind of realize like, all right, my legs aren't strategically across. So I always tell people, listen, when you're starting off and you've got your level 1s, and then you have a senior stylist, because now you have, now you're a team leader, you need to figure out the other 2 people on your team that want to work the business. And if you're recruiting, you want to take your people that you just recruited, and you want to get 2 more senior stylists, right? So you want to get 3 senior stylists across. And then what you want to do is, like, as the months go on, you should try to be leading those teammates underneath you to start recruiting, right? Because rank advancing, you want to rank advance faster, but you can't do all the recruiting. Like, your team needs to recruit as well, right? But you're going to look at those senior stylists, and then you're going to create team leaders, right? 3 of them equally across. and then directors, right? So, you might have like this awesome friend that's over here and she's killing it, and you're like, oh, she's doing such a good job, and I just recruited somebody and I want to, add her, like I want to get her to a specific spot. That's great, but like you could probably be losing out on some major cash, right? It's at this level, like it's a business. You have to treat it like a business. I mean, I've got numerous friends, I've got family members on here, but I had to say to myself, I have to work with the people who really want to work this business. And for me, working the business is an equal sales recruit, right? Like I always look at the two factors. You need to sell, you need to recruit for the business to like really start to be building. Does that make sense to you guys? Am I going too fast? Jen?
So can I interject with a question?
Yes.
So going back to the example that you used on the board,
Yep.
where you said, so you had my name as, I think, like an L2. And then
Yes.
and then in that same month, you recruit somebody new, and I wasn't performing that well. So you took that new recruit and put her under whoever
Yep.
I was under.
Yes.
But now, what if that was just a 1 month that I had off, that I wasn't doing well, and the next month I come back around and my numbers are good again.
Yep.
Now, in the long run, wouldn't it have been better, or would it have been better to have had that new recruit as an L1 and be able to start building that leg under that person, so that you're building, like the beginning, you started off by saying you want 6 across.
Well, that's for executive, right? So for executive,
Okay.
you need 6 across, but I only need 3 that are actually like working the business.
Okay.
Right? So I kind of had to, like, at one point had to say to myself, okay, here are my business builders, right?
Yeah.
Like these are the girls that are like, they want to work the business. Like I could tell through their sales and I could tell through their recruiting. The reason why I would have taken that girl and moved her under was to make sure that I kept my team leader position, because I would never want to lose that placement button. Because how about if I recruited 4 people next month and I wasn't a team leader and I was a senior stylist? I can't move them that month.
So you needed to be able to make sure that you had that second senior stylist consistent.
Yeah.
To keep. Okay. All right.
Because it doesn't really.
Once you have that solidified, then you would put somebody as their own new leg.
Yeah, because think about it. Like, think about how many people come on. Now, we only have 35 days to make a choice, right? We're not going to make the right choice every time. There's numerous times where I'd be like, damn it, I shouldn't have moved her underneath her. I should have moved her underneath this. But at that moment in time, whether I needed to keep a rank or I wanted a rank advance, like, I mean, it changes. I don't know how many times during the month. Like I think strategically one thing and I don't do anything until like, I always move the person the day before it says 35 days. I try to do it on day like 33, because I've heard of things where all of a sudden the placement, like it's gone, like something happened, or look at today, it's a shit show. The VO is like, yeah. I don't even know what the hell's going on with it. Right. So like, if today was my 35th day to move somebody and I didn't move them, like, I don't know, they might tell me to go punt. I have no idea, but I'm like, damn it, I should have done that like 2 days before. And not only that, if the girl is killing it and has a lot of sales, you're more beneficial if you're planning on moving that person to move them at the end of the month, because that volume goes to that new person. So say if I was moving on, so I had Kristen here, Jen here, and, I was going to make Kristen a senior stylist, right? and it's October 31st, and I have Betsy over here that has like $600 worth of sales. Instead of keeping her at my level 1, I would move her underneath Kristen, because then Kristen is going to gain the volume that she's going to need. Because remember, every time you rank up, right, to be a senior stylist, you need to accumulate 2,000 group volume. So it's not just like the $1,000, you have to have that group volume. And it gets even more important when you're rank advancing to team leader and director, because you might have the structure of team leader, but that team has to have 5,000 group volume. So if that girl that I kept over here until November 5th, because, you know, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, and she had like $1,200 her first month, and I didn't move it over, like I kind of screwed myself too, right? Because that $1,200 could have went to that other girl for her like overall team volume. So there's so many different, it's not as easy as I'm saying, like, hey, just move here, 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 and here. There's like a lot to think about. So absolutely reach out to the person who enrolled you, or your highest ranking person, or reach out to me and say, Margaret, I have this new girl. I don't know what I'm going to do. Because I talk to my leaders all the time about this, like all month long. Once they recruit somebody, it'll be like, okay, what do you think? What's your plan? But we're also looking at what our team is doing, right? So like if my team, you know, if this leg over here isn't doing anything, and all of a sudden this leg over here is like killing it, I might have to switch gears. Like, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm going to switch gears, but they're killing it over here, and I need to put this girl over here instead, you know? So I look at it as like almost like like I help you, you help me, right? Everybody on your team, like with them doing sales and recruiting, is helping you, right? So when I get a recruit, I'm gonna look at that and I'm gonna say, this person is doing the work. I need to help them out. Like, it's time, right? Like, so if I have a new recruit, I look at all of that. And guys, like, I never look at like placement as like something that should happen. I mean, my upline has, I don't know how many, I don't even know how many are on Kelly's personally enrollees, like 200 and something, 300, I don't even know. Do you think she has enough to give people, you know, people? No, like, no, like there's no, like, I don't ever once ever think that there's going to be somebody placed under my team from her. It's like that, if it happens, I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, I so appreciate it. But I honestly feel like I never thought it would happen. And I was just like, I'm just going to work the business. Like, I don't want to like rely on somebody else. And not only that, I'm only going to get paid half of it anyways, right? Because if I personally enroll them, I get 3% of that E1. And then depending on what level she is and depending on what rank I'm going to be, I can get either paid 3% or 6%. And I want the 6%, right? Because if you have, I mean, you might not think like 3% and 6% is a lot, but it becomes a lot when your team gets really big. It means thousands of dollars, basically. You know what I mean? Does this make sense to you guys? Like, is it helpful to like hear this? Are you guys more confused? Like, fill me in. Yes, no, maybe so. All right, another thing that I want to talk to you guys about, because a lot of you guys are at team leader, which probably means that you're gonna be like stringing for a director. And guys, going from team leader to director, like, really isn't too bad. The hardest is director to senior director, and then senior director to executive. It kind of depends on how your team is. But if you look at the comp plan, you're going to see, right, So I love talking about the level 6 and the level 7, all right? Because those are like the most important. Because the level 6 is the E1, E2, right? Which will always be yours because those are your personally enrolled people. Your E1 is your personally enrolled, and the E2 is your personally enrolled person, right? So I enrolled Kristen, she's my E1. Kristen enrolled Diane. Diane is Kristen's E1, but she's my E2, right? Now, if you look on number 7, those are the levels, right? So as you can realize, it says down here, level 4. So I can get paid 6% down to my level 4. But after my level 4, it goes to 1.5%, okay? So it's really important to look at your team and not really place people too far down your levels, which can be like really difficult because say if like you've got 2 strong legs and then like your third leg, like the girl who's killing it is like 3 levels down and you're like, what am I gonna do, right? Like I said, every situation is totally different. But what I would recommend you guys doing is keeping the levels as even as you possibly can. So like I said at the beginning, where it's like 3 senior stylists, 3 team leaders, right? 3 directors going across, all right? And then hopefully one of those or 2 of those legs will kind of start to take off on their own, right? Because this is what I've kind of found is that you get like 1 or 2 strong legs and then you kind of get like a weak 3rd and 4th leg. And it's like, you gotta like really kind of help out that 3rd or 4th leg, but you don't need the 4th leg until you reach national. And that's at the tippity top. So really try to focus on having 3 people that you really feel like want to work the business. And I would take those 3 people and I would foster the relationship with them, become super tight with them, talk to them about the comp plan, talk to them about recruiting. Recruiting is just a mindset. But if you look at our comp plan, when it says it has 12 ways to earn income, selling, there's 3 ways if you sell, right? You get your base retail commission that we get weekly, we get enhanced commission, and then we get jumpstart incentives. But once you pick the leadership phase, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a lot of more ways to make money, right? There's 7 other ways to make money. So there's those 7 ways and your 3 other ways. Now you get 10 total. They say 12, but the preferred client program isn't there and the bonus pools aren't there anymore. So there's really not. So like really think about it as, yes, you need to sell, right? Because you need to at least make $300 to even get paid off of the people underneath you. But selling, running parties, but guys, recruit, recruit, because that's the money that like you're kind of making while you're sleeping, right? Because your team is working, right? So, but you never want to lose the focus on, running the parties and recruiting, because you want to know what everybody on your team, like what they're going through, right? So like, I can't talk about parties and recruiting if I'm not doing that, right? Like, cause I wouldn't have anything to offer. And I certainly wouldn't be wanting to tell other people to do something that I'm not doing, right? So you kind of have to keep that all like in the loop. But I have to say that the leadership role is like, it's basically where like the really big money is. Like, I don't know like what like your goals are, but it can be whatever you want it to be. Like no joke. It can be whatever you, yes, Lauren, you got that right, girl. Like, you can go from, $1,000 to 50, and that's per month. So there's a lot of money to be made, guys, like a lot of money. So like, treat it as a business. Just put aside some time, and really foster the relationship with those leaders. Stupid money. Yeah, true that. And it takes time and it takes consistency. But it's there. And I mean, how cool is that? Because I'll be honest with you guys, like, I never thought in a million years, no way. I was like, hourly pay at the hospital, like, there's no way you can make that type of money. And to just know that we're sitting on it, like I told this girl the other day, I said, I'm sitting on a gold mine, or a pot of gold. And I said, when I first started, it was like really distant. And I said, it was like a little pinhole, but I could see it. And I said, I'm getting closer and closer to it. But it's hard work, it's consistency, and I mean, our hard work really isn't that hard work. It's just consistency more than anything. I mean, booking parties is like the cream of the crop. Like, if there's anything that you can do for yourself, is like concentrate on just booking parties, because if you can tap into somebody else's network, well, even if that party shits the bed, like, I friend request everybody, I message everybody in the party, I ask somebody in that party to host a party. I mean, I quote unquote whore it out. Because I'm like, I don't know who's in there that's gonna love it, but I just got 20 people in this one group. I am gonna work it. Right. And then all I'm doing is messaging people. So I can like sit down. I have a timer, guys. I time myself on everything, because I can't do like a task for 2 hours. I just don't have enough time in the day. But like, if it's like, in the next 15 minutes, Margaret, I have to like super hyper focus on, whatever, messaging everybody in this party. I like write a little list down of what I need to do and what I need to accomplish. And I'm saying 15 minutes, I'm going to get this done. And I just super hyper focus and get it done. All right. Any other questions? Was it confusing? Because I was confused for years. I was confused for like a good year and a half. Go ahead, Jen.
Can I ask a question
Yeah.
about this, but just to clarify about the enhanced commission?
Yes.
Because I always get confused on this. So once we get over 600 in sales, I know we go up to 28%.
Yes.
But is that 28 on, so say if I have 700, is it 28% on the 700, or is it just an additional 3% on the?
Look at Lauren's like.
No, right?
Yeah. It's 3. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Was somebody else talking?
No.
It was just us.
So is it just an additional 3% on that?
It's an additional 3%. It's an additional
whole thing on the whole total.
I don't know if it's the whole total, if it's from like the 600 to, does anybody know?
Lauren's saying no.
Yeah.
No, it's the whole thing. So you get enhanced commission on the whole total, so your whole volume.
Whole total. Okay.
So then when you like advance again to the other 3%, when you hit 1,200, it's your whole 1,200 that you get 6 extra % on.
Okay.
Gotcha. All right, there you go. Question answered. Thank you.
Get that 10%, man.
Lauren, yeah. 3 legs. Find your 3 legs and work it. Because you want, it gets to be really difficult when like you get those 3 legs and there's one person who's like really strong and you're like, oh my God, they're rank advancing like crazy, which is a good thing, but you got to keep up with it. because then because then you're just losing money like off of people that are underneath you and you're not getting paid. And it's just like, is it a big deal? No, but you want to get compensated for as much as you want because it's there. It's like, oh my God, I'm missing it. Ugh. You know? So you just want to keep up with the rank advancing. So it gets a little like, yeah, it's leaving money on the table. Absolutely it is. Yeah. And it's like, that sucks. No one wants to leave money on the table when it's just there, right? But it can be extremely complicated, and every month it could be something totally different. What you think at the beginning of the month, it could change 10 times. And then all of a sudden at the end of the month, it could be a whole new strategy, depending on what those people did. Yeah, go ahead.
I would offer, like this past month, I was getting down to, I had my 2 seniors, and my third leg was at 276.
Yeah.
So I did the math.
Mhm.
And so if I put in $24, or
Yeah.
hopefully get that one more buy
Mhm.
3, I did the math on it.
Yeah.
And went through and how many levels more down, and it came out to be pretty much a wash,
Yeah.
and a wash was worth it.
Right. And work on
Alright.
one leg at a time to get them to senior stylist. Yes. So like you want to have like Jen Gresham was saying, she's got 2 senior stylists and then one girl who has like one girl. So she really needs to get that one girl getting another girl because she needs like another senior stylist. So you want 3 senior stylists across the board. And then if you have 3 senior stylists, look to see maybe one of those senior stylists actually recruited somebody or something, right? Then I would kind of look and go, oh, all right, maybe I'm going to leave her and I'm going to work on the other 2, see if she can get to team leader by herself, you know what I mean, and work on these 2 legs. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? And everybody's situation is different. So if you're confused by this, please, like I always try to look, I actually look pretty deep down my downline. I mean, I look at my graphical tree every day. Like every morning I wake up and I'm like, all right, where is everybody at? I just need to see it. And when I see people recruit people, I usually reach out to a lot of you guys and say, like, listen, I see that you recruited somebody. You're probably going to have to move them. This is the, first of all, I'll say this is your business, but this is what I would recommend. But, ultimately you guys got to do what you want to do. And if you have more questions after this, just reach out to me and I can explain it to you. Yeah, Lauren.
Clarifying.
Yeah.
So say you have one senior stylist,
Mm-hmm.
and you have 2 other legs that are promising,
Mm-hmm.
but you would want to go ahead and build one of those other people up to senior stylist instead of like giving them each one person. You'd want to like get somebody all the way there and then get the other person all the way there. That's what.
Yeah, because how about if that one person that got you to senior stylist isn't going to get it for you this month? You have somebody else to lean on.
Okay.
Now you got 2 options, right?
Insurance. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And then get that other one for the third one. Right? So that's how and it's going to keep your cap volume